Now, officials in Cyprus say a ship loaded with humanitarian aid for Gaza has been given clearance to set sail. The open arms relief vessel is expected to leave the port of Larnaca any time now to use a new maritime corridor to deliver the supplies to Gaza. A temporary dock will be set up to receive the aid, as well as a distribution network. Now, the US has separately sent a ship to build a larger pier for a wider relief effort. DW correspondent Rosie Burchard at Larnaca port in Cyprus joins us now. Rosie, you just attended a briefing with Cypriot officials. What have you been hearing?
We're at a special operations hub in the city of Larnaca, where Cypriot officials are able to track and look at this new maritime corridor, which is now really starting from here in the city of Larnaca, so that aid boats can reach Gaza safely. And that much needed maiden voyage, we understand, should be setting off very soon. So in this room around me, you'll see there are cameras where officials can monitor what's happening at the port. We also see, for example, lots of maps that shows the area where Cypriot officials could deploy, for example, search and rescue vessels if this ship were to get into distress. Now, I've been speaking with Cypriot officials. I've got the very latest from them. Take a listen to what they had to say.
We have finished the inspection and loading of the vessel, of the open arms vessel, and the platform they are using. So the most important part is that everything is ready, permissions have been granted, and now is a scheduling issue for the NGO that is handling this issue.
Rosie, just talking about the scheduling issue there, do we have an idea of the exact time when this is going to get the all clear?
In the coming hours, what I understand is that the NGO, which is preparing to receive this aid on the Gazan side, is still busy building its temporary pier in order to actually receive this. Now, this is a first-of-its-kind delivery. It's a delivery of tons, hundreds of tons, I've been told, of things like flour, of rice, of protein like canned tuna. And, of course, we know that is much needed in Gaza, where there really is a humanitarian disaster. And officials here are hoping they can ramp up this corridor over the next few weeks to see this voyage really seen as a test for trying to get this done. The idea is that Cypriot officials check the goods here in Cyprus, overseen by Israeli officials before it departs, so that they can go directly to Gaza. Now, we are, however, hearing from United Nations officials saying this maritime corridor, while it's welcome news, is no replacement for land access, and so those calls to increase access into Gaza via traditional land crossings are still mounting, particularly from the United Nations.
And Rosie, we're just looking there earlier as you were speaking to looking at live images of the vessel. There we have the images of the vessel. How long is it likely to take to get to its destination and deliver what these desperately needed aid?
So Cyprus is the point in the European Union which is the closest to Gaza, but it's still some 400 kilometres. So make no mistake, this is not an easy journey. And generally, this should take about 15 hours, so at least a full day of sailing. But given the fact that this boat is tugging a heavy cargo, it could be that that takes much longer, certainly into a couple of days. So this is no mean feat, and certainly something, as you can see, the eyes of Cypriot officials bearing down on this to try and make sure this works. Because, of course, as we know, really lives are at stake here. The United Nations has been warning of famine in Gaza. I should say that Israel says it facilitates the access of aid. Israel has welcomed this initiative, although Israel has also faced criticism, particularly for NGOs, for what they say really is that lack of humanitarian access and how difficult it has been to get life-saving aid into the besieged territory.
OK. We'll have to leave it there, Rosie. DW correspondent Rosie Burchard, thank you for bringing us up to speed.